Welcome back, friends. Today we will make a free energy generator using a syringe over which we will wound a PVC wire for a maximum number of turns, and this piston consists of neodymium magnets and a round magnet inside that, so that it can generate a flux over the PVC wire which is wound on over it for a maximum turns, and thus generating a EMF, and see whether what quantity of EMF can be generated. So let's start the experiment. For this we will mount the motor with the CD over the stand. For that we will fix the screw in order to fix the crankshaft to move it to and fro. So once we will fix the screw to the CD disc, which is fixed with a pulley. Next we will fix it with the DC motor tightly and see whether it is able to move freely. So once it is been fixed, next we will fix it over the stand. So we'll fix it over the stand and see that the dish is able to move freely. So once it is been done, next we will fix the stand. So once it is been fixed, next we will fix the motor over the stand. So once the motor is been fixed, see that the disc is able to move freely. So once it is been done, next we will take the syringe and remove the front side of this and cut the front side. So once it is been removed, next we will fix some of the round magnets in front of this and some neodymium magnets to it. So we will apply the glue. Once the glue is applied, we will fix the round magnet in the front side. So once the round magnet is been fixed, next we will fix some of the neodymium magnets on the either side of the piston. See that it is tightly fixed. And fix the neodymium magnets also. So we have fixed a round magnet and neodymium magnets in the piston so that it can generate a maximum flux inside the cylinder of the cylinder of the syringe. So once it is been done, next we will start winding a coil over this. So once it is been done, next we will start winding PVC wire over this syringe for a maximum number of turns. See that we have maximum number of turns over the syringe. So once maximum number of turns are wounded till the end, next again we will continue the winding over the coil so that we can have a maximum number of turns over the syringe. See that it is tightly wounded over the syringe to have a maximum number of turns. So we have wounded a maximum number of turns. Next we can twist it so that it can fix tightly over the syringe. So once everything is been done and the piston is able to move freely inside the cylindrical syringe with the magnet, thus the flux maximum flux will link with the coil. Next we will fix this syringe to the crankshaft so as to move it to and fro and thus generating a EMF in the coil. So for that we will fix a riffle. We'll cut the end portion of the riffle in order to make a crankshaft. Fix the base of the piston. Apply the glue. Fix the So once it is been fixed, let it dry. Till then we have to make a crankshaft with a copper coil. We will take a copper strand and make a crankshaft with this a connecting rod to make a crankshaft to fix the flywheel and the piston of the syringe. So we'll cut according to its necessity. Next, fix the by making a knob like this, we can fix it to the one end of the screw. So as to make the crankshaft. So once it is been fixed tightly, fix it tightly. Once it is been fixed, next we will fix the screw tightly. To hold the crankshaft. Once it has been fixed, check whether the connecting rod is able to move to and fro or not. Once it is able to move to and fro, next we will connect it with the syringe according to the necessity of the length. So we will bend it according to the necessity and fix it with the piston of the syringe. Insert it inside the triple notch and check whether the piston is able to move to and fro or not. So once it is able to move to and fro, next we will fix the arrangement in such a way that it can move to and fro. So once it has been done, next we will fix the stand according to the requirement. Mark it and fix the stand according to the necessity. Apply the stand over which the syringe is mounted. Next we will apply the glue and fix the base of the syringe. Tightly to the stand. Once it is been fixed, next check whether it is able to move freely or not. So once it is been done, next we will connect the ends of the terminal to the connecting screws with forward bias diode and a filter capacitor in order to generate the EMF. So we will connect two screws in order to connect the two terminals of the wire. Once it is been connected, next we will fix the forward bias diode. Connect the terminals to the motor. We'll connect the two terminals to the connections of the motor in order to drive the motor. So once it is been fixed, next we will connect these ends of the wire to the terminal of the motor. Once it is been connected, next terminal again we will connect it with the other terminal of the DC motor. So we have connected all the connections are completed. The end of the PVC wire are connected to the two terminals with a forward bias diode and a filter capacitor. We have to connect the filter capacitor. Once the filter capacitor is connected, so we have completed all the connections. The ends of the PVC coil are connected to terminals with the forward bias diode and a filter capacitor. The two terminals output are taken to drive the motor with the flywheel, which is connected to the piston of the syringe with the neodymium magnets and a round magnet, which is able to move inside the coil. Thus, the maximum flux linkage with the coil changes and EMF may be generated. For that, we have to give a maximum torque to the flywheel and see whether EMF generation happens or not. So, we will fix a bigger magnet in front of the coil in order to have a maximum flux generated. So, we will fix a magnet in such a way that we can have a maximum flux generated in the coil. Once it is been done, next we will fix the round magnet in front of the coil so that a maximum flux can be generated in the coil to produce the EMF. Once everything is been completed, we will give the torque to the magnet and to the flywheel of the motor and see whether EMF generation take place or not. For that, we have to give a maximum torque to the motor and see whether EMF generation happens or not. Once everything is been completed, next we will give the torque to the flywheel and see whether the the flywheel moves the piston to and fro and thus generating EMF in the coil. So we have to give a maximum torque to the flywheel so that it can move. So once the torque is given, the piston moves to and fro with the magnet inside. The flux linking with the coil changes and thus EMF generation takes place, which drives the motor. And even the magnetic front here creates a maximum flux, thus generating a EMF. Next we will connect the bulb and see whether the bulb glows or not. So we have connected the extension board. Next we will connect the bulb and see whether the bulb glows or not. So here the glowing of bulb indicates that EMF generation has taken place. Whenever the magnet moves inside the piston, the flux linking with the coil changes and EMF generation takes place. The glowing of bulb indicates that EMF is generated. This works over the principle of Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, stating that whenever the flux linking with the coil changes, EMF generation takes place.